this time, I'm going to call the board back to order. Is there a motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
Second.
With any objection?
We should probably do a roll call on that one, too.
I'm sorry.
Probably do a roll call on that one.
Okay, roll call vote, please, Ms. Griffin.
Okay, Ms. Werner,
Yes.
Mr. Damp,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Here, yes.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Armenter,
Yes.
Mr. Blossman,
Yes.
Mr. Brazel,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Shadowland,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Here.
Mr.
Yes.
Mallett,
Here.
Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Perry, Mrs. Starnes,
Here.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Yarborough.
Yes.
All over. Thank you. I believe we have a motion to amend the personnel actions.
Currently, the personnel actions indicate a recommendation to extend the contract term of Chancellor Galley to 2020. I'm making a motion to amend that contract term to 2021.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? Without objection, the motion is adopted. Is there a motion to approve the amended personnel action for Mr. Paul Carell?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any objection? With none, that motion also passes. Are we good without a roll call? Okay, very good. At this time, I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege to congratulate Chancellor Carell, the faculty and staff, and the community of LSUA for a fabulous campaign launch event, and it's gratifying to see that the entire region rallied around to support the generals and their efforts to raise the institution to higher levels with this unprecedented campaign launch. There was a video the night of the launch last week that was incredible, and I wanted to share it with all of you today.
For the past 6 decades, LSUA has witnessed the growing demands of its own success. This is no coincidence. This is a story well worth being told. LSUA thrives on an overwhelming positive perception in the community due to its long-standing commitment to Central Louisiana. Its affordability, devoted faculty, academic excellence, and above all, the university's economic impact on the region has established it as the premier academic path to success in Central Louisiana.
We are fierce.
To remain committed to our students.
To continue to grow.
To prepare for the future.
The history of LSUA is both interesting and I think relevant for where we are today. You know, it opened in 1960. Martin Wooden, who later became the president of LSU, was the first chancellor at LSUA. And his vision always was for this university to be an important part of the community and an important cog in higher education in Louisiana.
We're here to honor the past.
We're here to seize the day.
We're ready to take on the future.
LSUA has time and again responded by offering new degree programs that have answered our local workforce needs, contributing directly to the sustained growth of our economy.
We're committed to our local community. Every dollar raised stays in Alexandria. A qualified workforce keeps our businesses and industry strong and brings new businesses to the area. LSUA provides the pipeline for our local workforce. Its success is tied to ours.
It is no surprise that LSUA, one of the safest, fastest-growing universities in Louisiana, has empowered countless students from all over the planet. If anything, this worldwide reach has taught us is that there are no limits and everything is possible.
We know that together we can do more.
Together, we are better.
LSUA's continued successes have led to one of its most ambitious challenges to date.
The need to compete.
The need to stay ahead of the curve.
The need to remain pioneers.
LSUA has always had a great partnership with our community, and we try to help meet those workforce demands. So as there's a need in the community, we want our programs to develop jobs that we haven't even thought of yet. We only have one chance to make a first impression.
Today, we present the biggest student-focused campaign in the history of Central Louisiana. Fierce for LSUA, an $8 million, 100% privately funded campaign aimed at building a modern central hub for student services, the face of the academic future of Central Louisiana, the LSUA Student Success Center. A gateway to the future of our academic and economic success.
We are going from our current reality to our desired future. The Student Success Center, a new state-of-the-art building, will be an integral part in assisting students in determining a course of study or a program of study all the way to graduation, as well as possible placement, if not in Central Louisiana, in other areas of our state and nation.
Now is the time to meet the needs of the future.
Now is the time to shape the leaders of tomorrow.
Now is the right time to move forward.
Now is the time to join us.
Fierce for LSUA is poised to set the Student Success Center as the standard of professional development and economic growth in Central Louisiana, guaranteeing the continued flow of industry and community leaders straight into our workplaces and homes. This campaign is bound to set the deepest bonds between our alumni, our parents, corporate partners, faculty, staff, and students, friends old and new.
As you know, a university is not a building. It's about students and people that care about their future. The Student Success Center is critical to LSUA, a one-stop shop where they get to know the university, they get to enroll in the university, and they get to learn about financial aid that is so critical to the families. This facility is going to meet the needs of a much larger university. So we need to make sure that our alumni and friends and business community contribute to this campaign because it will pay dividends back to them. And seeing this as a tremendous asset to the long-term viability of the health and welfare of our community.
LSUA alumni and friends are prepared to meet the challenges of our ever-changing world.
Together, we can make a difference.
A difference for today and for the future.
The time to commit is now. We are building the future now. We are fierce for LSUA.
Very inspiring note. Dr. Correll, congratulations. And would you care to make a few?
Thank you very much. I do want to thank the board and the president for the opportunity to serve LSUA and serve this great institution. My wife, Arlene, is here. Some of you may have met her, some maybe not. And my daughter, Ashley, who is a graduate of the LSU New Orleans Medical School. In fact, she's a dermatologist just a few blocks from here. And we've loved this university, but more so the team that we have from LSUA that makes all this great stuff happen is here. And I'd like them to stand up, please. I couldn't ask for a more committed professional team that is so committed to Central Louisiana, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to serve and be part of this great institution. I look forward to serving. I told somebody the other day, I think Friday the board's going to make me a real chancellor and not an interim. I've been an interim for a long time. It's almost 2 years, but I'm really looking forward to serving the board and serving the campus, serving Central Louisiana. My wife and I just moved in our new home last week, and I'm tired of moving, so I think we're going to be there for a while. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to the entire team. Blake and Ricky and I joined King, and y'all put on quite a show, and we're so blessed with the most beautiful night of fall weather, and really have something to live up to. I can't wait to see what the groundbreaking is going to be like, and then what the ribbon cutting and the culmination of all this is going to be like. But congratulations to all of you. Congratulations, Dr. Correll. We're thrilled to have you there, and if anyone else would like to make any comment on that, I don't know, but.
I would just, you've said it all, and congratulations, Paul, and thank you to our team. I think if you were there that night when it was mentioned that this would be before the board and as a recommendation to take the interim tag off of Chancellor Correll's title, the spontaneous standing ovation from the crowd that was there and the applause and the hoorays for Paul speaks volumes about the job that he's doing in leadership and how excited the entire community and the entire university is about your leadership. So congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Perhaps, Paul, we could ask your wife and daughter to rise as well so we can recognize them. I'm saving you.
I just want to say thank you, Chancellor. I've built a great relationship with you ever since you come in, and all the students are behind you. You have their full support. The atmosphere of campus is really, really building momentum. I'm excited for the future and with your leadership, so thank you.
Thanks, Ricky. And one thing about my wife I want to say, and I tell this to the campus, you get 2 for 1 with me, because Arlene is so engaged at LSUA. She's all over the campus and loves to be with the students, and it's all about the students, and that's why, you know, we had a barbecue when I was living on campus till recently, a barbecue at my house, and it was such a fantastic event with the students dancing and enjoying each other on campus. So Ricky's doing a great job too as our student government president. We appreciate having him. But Arlene and I are very happy to be back in LSU family, and looking forward to working with each and one of you. And I think all the board members, I've gotten to know the board, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your leadership and your service to the state of Louisiana and to the students.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank the team from LSUA for coming down and the staff, and I've been nervous all day because anytime the staff and the administration leave campus, that leaves the faculty and students there alone. So I'd be a lot less nervous if you guys get on back and...
Very good. Okay, thank you all, and thank you all for being here. It's now time for the staff advisors and faculty advisor reports, and we will start with Ms. Ashley Gotra of the staff advisors.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to report to you this afternoon about the activities that have been going on around the system, engaging the different staff and faculty. First, LSU A&M, you'd heard and we discussed in previous meetings that they had passed a resolution to establish a protocol following the death of a faculty or staff member, and they had their first person who was recognized under the precedent of that policy. Jeff Campbell was honored with a flag that flew over the campus during the Fall Fest and the Florida game, and it was a beautiful ceremony, and they're very grateful that they were able to bestow that honor upon the family of that employee. And it was a lovely event. They also passed a resolution at their last meeting that urged everyone to consider establishing an educational program to support the 100% tobacco-free campus and workplace, and a vaping educational program for faculty and staff. Also, the LSU A&M Staff Senate is working to award their scholarships at their November meeting, so they are going through that selection process and looking at some applications of some very engaged employees. Pennington was happy to report that they had their annual employee picnic on October 20th and had over 120 employees in attendance, and that they've established bi-weekly staff meetings on effective emails topics that the staff is interested in pursuing. At the Ag Center, our staff assisted with our annual retiree luncheon with over 175 in attendance in the month of October, and we were very grateful for those who stepped up and helped us with that. And we are working around the state on a bunch of different initiatives. As you know, it's fall, it's harvesting season, and there's lots of things and activities going on at Burden, the corn maze, and different things. Finally, wanted to invite you to attend the Holiday on Campus event on December 3rd. It'll be at the Student Union from 6 to 8 p.m., and we would love for you to join us if you are available. That's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dr. Van Cherry will now give the Faculty Advisors Report.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and board members. It's a pleasure to be here to represent the faculty, and would actually like to propose an addition to the FIERCE program. Maybe FIERCE for LSU faculty would be a good place to start. And as you all are aware, faculty governance and engagement in the development of our campuses is critical to meaningful academic life, and much of the activity of our institution relies on our faculty. And so FIERCE for LSU faculty might include something like development of through the Leadership Institute that you just reaffirmed, a faculty development program where 2 to 3 faculty from each of our campuses or colleges could come together in a faculty leadership development program for a year-long or semester-long program to really cultivate leadership among our faculty or our academic ranks. And we're very happy, along the same vein, to see progress toward 360-degree evaluation of administrative staff and faculty, and from chairman on up, and we especially Provost Haney has led the charge there, but that's something that needs to be implemented at all campuses across our system. Finally, IT issues continue to be a hindrance to our progress. And I know you're well aware of the need for upgrading to contemporary IT equipment and infrastructure on many of our campuses. There are still issues with the Workday program, particularly it's come to our light recently. There are security issues in access across accounts that may be problematic. And there are also some campuses that have a specific review of third-party software for ADA compliance that is slowing down the ability of our faculty to have the software they need for routine things. And we're talking about things like Photoshop or some that are commonly used software all have to go through committees on some campuses to be approved for use. So things like that are hindrances. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here today, Dr. Van Cherry.
Go Tigers.
Now, this time, I'll ask the President to give his President's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, for those that were able to attend, at Pennington this past week, there was a great announcement, and it was about a year in the making when we first had the idea that we could actually pull it off by getting Dr. Philip Schauer and his team of researchers and surgeons of bariatric and metabolic medicine. This also is going to come with a lot of federal research dollars. Now, to give certainly Dr. Kerwin an opportunity just to share with you what a big coup this was for us to pull Dr. Schauer out of the Cleveland Clinic and to bring him to Baton Rouge and his team.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, and thank you to the board members who attended the event. This was really a transformative moment for Pennington in being able to secure the top bariatric surgeon in the world to establish a program at Pennington. It was a big effort on everybody's part. We had the support of LED, support of the medical school in New Orleans. We had the support of our foundation, and we partnered with Our Lady of the Lake Hospital to facilitate the surgeries. So there's a lot of individuals involved, a lot of organizations involved, and we were successful in competing with several other states who had a lot of money on the table to make this happen. So I want to thank everybody and acknowledge the contributions that people made. The impact for this in terms of Pennington, in terms of LSU, and in terms of Baton Rouge is enormous. This will establish us as the premier metabolic surgery center in the country, perhaps even in the world. And we have an opportunity to leverage not just the clinical side, but also the research side. And this was a big reason for us to pursue it so aggressively. There's a lot of opportunity to expand out bariatric surgery. It's one of those procedures that has brought with it new discoveries in terms of how to treat type 2 diabetes and has the potential to identify new treatments for cardiovascular disease. And it is complementary to some of the work that we want to do in terms of cancer. So it was overall a big day, but it was only the start of what I think will be a very impactful development from Pennington. And I want to say again, thank you to everybody who supported that.
Thank you, Dr. Kerwin. And actually, that involved a lot of people. And Larry, I appreciate the work that you guys did at the medical center to help recruit and to land this team, because there's going to be a lot of interaction between a number of campuses. Even the governor's office, he played an important role in getting Dr. Schauer here.
I forgot to say that, but actually that was probably the thing that clinched the deal, because we had a hard time really convincing him. We were competing down to the line, and I think it was probably that call that made the difference in the end in terms of getting him here.
And that's exactly what Dr. Schauer told me. He said when the governor called, he knew that we had our ducks in a row, and he wanted to be at a place he has that much support. So that was a great accomplishment. Yes, Dr. Hoffman. Yes.
If I could, Dr. Kerwin, to just express my appreciation and thank you. While we had very important people helping, especially the governor, I'm hearing, which is fantastic. But I want to thank you for your leadership, and that had a lot to do with it also happening, along with the very important support of the governor and others, and Dr. Oye. But I just think about the unbelievable lives that will be improved, not just in the near future, but in the extended future because of this endeavor. And I'm just so proud that LSU has this, and that we have that in Louisiana as well. So congratulations and thank you.
I can't help but think Dr. Kerwin's years at the Cleveland Clinic may have had something to do with recruiting somebody he's worked with for decades, both of them. So it's a great find for us. Also like to congratulate Dr. Ghali on the State-of-the-Art Center for Medical Education, a groundbreaking $60 million new facility, of which 30 of that's going to be raised privately. This is a transformative facility. Dr. Ghali, if you'd like to comment. We had about 5 board members there, but the rest didn't have an opportunity to attend.
I want to just thank President Alexander's support, as well as all the Board of Supervisors that attended. We had Board of Regents. We had local, statewide politicians. We had our governor there, who was very, very supportive, along with many of the legislative folks. Thank you for your support. This is going to be a big deal for our campus. This is the first building in 14 years on our Health Science Center campus, and it's going to be a big deal. And thank you for the support that you provided us up in North Louisiana.
Great. And as you know, I follow a number of these. I work with a number of national rankings and international rankings to get it right. And I always pay attention to value-based rankings, which is taking into account cost, taking into account student indebtedness, and the success of colleges, universities, but also law schools. So for the 11th straight year, the Paul M. Hebert Law Center has been ranked among the country's best valued law schools by Pre-Law magazine. And in fact, we were ranked 12th, which is the highest we've been certainly since I've been here in the 6 years, 12th best valued law school. And if you take a look at who we're actually ahead of, it's quite impressive. Texas, Austin, Ohio State, Florida, Iowa, Iowa State. Some big name schools with big name law programs, and to be ranked 12th in the country is a great tribute to what's going on in our law center and what our law students are certainly paying close attention to. Also like to congratulate the A&M the main campus for the 7th straight year for the HEAT Award, which has received the Higher Education Excellence in Diversity by National Diversity Magazine named Insight. This is the 7th straight year we've been among the nation's leader in receiving the HEAT Award. LSUA's testing services recently became Louisiana's first testing facility to become certified by the National College Testing Association. This actually is very important for CENLA in the central Louisiana region, because they'll be coming to LSUA for all kinds of testing purposes. And the certification gives us the ability to do that for students of all ages. Also like to congratulate Dr. Hayward Joyner. Dr. Joyner at one point was the interim chancellor at LSUA, but Dr. Joyner, he's the chair of the Department of Allied Health. I actually saw him on the video at LSUA, and he's been inducted into the Louisiana Justice Hall of Fame for his longtime public service and lifetime commitment to education. So congratulations certainly to our friend Dr. Joyner, who has served in just about every capacity imaginable at LSUA.
Amazing, man.
Boyd Professor Suzanne Brenner is among 18 individuals that were nationally selected for the 2020 Association of Women in Mathematics Fellowship. So congratulations to Boyd Professor Brenner. We're also happy to introduce our new Vice President of Strategic Communications. Many of you will get to know. Jim Saborn. Jim joined our team at the beginning of this month. Jim started on October 1st, and he's certainly hit the ground running and will be on virtually all of the campuses to meet with your folks as we start coordinating the communication strategy. That certainly feeds into the capital campaign. I know Brian Benchoff is back there, and with the kickoff of the campaign, the Fears for the Future campaigns at LSU Health Center at Shreveport, as well as at LSUA, we're pleased to say that the capital campaign is running full steam ahead. It's about $810 million we've raised, well over the halfway point, and we're about a year and a half ahead of schedule. So congratulations to our fundraisers, and I'm glad they're not here, which means they're out on the road, because the next 2 months, about 1/3 of all giving will occur in November and December. 2 big months to see where we'll be at the end of those months. I'd also like to welcome Gordon Monk. I know he's got an Alumni Association board meeting as the new interim president and CEO of the LSU Alumni Association. And I'd like to congratulate the U.S. News and World Report ranked LSUA among the top 100 national liberal arts colleges in the country when it comes to creating social mobility for students. This perhaps is one of the most important rankings when we get ranked for advancing social mobility and helping students get to the next economic threshold or getting to a threshold that's above where they've come from. And when we as public universities give up on the social mobility issue, or we don't pay attention to what we're doing and achieving in this area, we really lose the reputation of being why we're here, which is a public university that advances the next generation better than the generation that has come before them. So congratulations to LSUA, and congratulations to all of our campuses who continue to show great strides compared to their peers in terms of getting students from a lower quintile to an upper quintile when it comes to salaries, earning capacity, and that's truly why we're here. All of our campuses are here. So, Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Next, we have 4 reports, of which 3 that require board approval to accept. You were previously provided the reports for your review and consideration. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Is there any objection? Without objection, the reports are accepted. Next, I'll entertain one motion to approve all committee actions that were recommended today. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Any objection? Without objection, the committee reports are approved. Now the chair's report. I just have a couple of items I'd like to mention today. First of all, I would like to recognize the Board of Regents, and first I need to thank Supervisor Wayne Brown for literally crisscrossing the state this week to represent LSU at the meeting that was held in Shreveport at LSUS, and thank Larry for his hospitality. I'm sure the team put out the red carpet just like you did for us in January.
They said they want to come back next year. We'd love to have you back as well.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Could I interject that? Chancellor Clark did a great job, and the hospitality in Shreveport. We had a lot of comments from the Board of Regents and their staff about how well they were treated and how impressed they were with LSU and the med school. They had the meeting at the med school, and Dr. Golly had them well taken care of, and also they went to Southern and BIPSI. So it was a collaborative effort led by Chancellor Clark to get them introduced to all the Shreveport and Bossier and encourage them to come back to North Louisiana as a regular annual meeting at least.
That's right, that's right. Thank you so much. What I wanted to comment on was, as we know, we've had a great relationship this year, constant work with the Board of Regents. They reach out to us regularly, and I want to commend them for their request for appropriations for fiscal year 2021 that supports investments in academics, research, and service across all of our campuses. I'm always at the Board of Regents reminding them that LSU represents everything that the Board of Regents has to handle. We are everything from LSUE and our 2-year campus all the way through our research institutions at Pennington, our medical schools, and our 4-year institutions. So LSU is very familiar with the conversation at every step of the way. And we are particularly interested in the continued support of research. As we all know, as we have lined out in our strategic plan, we firmly believe at LSU that research is the way we're going to address issues and move this state forward. So I want to thank the Board of Regents for their continued commitment in helping us reach those goals. The next thing I want to comment on is, as you all know, hope you've all experienced it sometime or another, you can walk across this campus or walk into any place and be impacted by something you're totally surprised by. So when I arrived yesterday, I walked into the Cook Hotel to check in, and I was met by Mr. John Grubb of the Alumni Association in the hallway, who shared with me, he had a bundle in his hand, and I said, well, what are you doing? He said, you're just not going to believe this. Have you heard of our Tiger Nation Challenge? And the Tiger Nation Challenge is a challenge between the LSU Alumni Association and the Auburn Alumni Association at the time of the LSU and Auburn game. And what John was holding in his hand were donations from every staff member in the Cook Hotel. I'm talking about maintenance workers to housekeepers to the management staff. And he showed me a list that every person employed at the Cook Hotel had contributed some amount to the LSU Alumni Scholarship Fund. And their motivation is that one of their own employees, a young man who I've had the chance to meet several times who is hearing impaired, attends LSU on one of these scholarships. So every worker in that hotel and a member of the Alumni Association staff has made their commitment to this challenge. And I'm kind of challenging our board at the same time, because right now I'm proud to report that LSU has beaten the pants off Auburn. With our goal of $100,000, we are at $82,490 raised, and Auburn hasn't even come close. So in the spirit of all those students, as we say every day, this is all about the students, and they are even working jobs here on this campus, and our housekeepers who are earning minimum wage and serving all of us and all our guests on this campus, and especially the ones coming this weekend, are ready to step up, whether it was $1 or $5 or $10, and it brought me to tears, and it's truly inspirational. So I challenge all of you to join me in the Tiger Nation Challenge, and let's get LSU over that $100,000 mark so that we can continue to support those scholarships for those students. And congratulations, John. Your staff is just truly inspirational. And John and I will share the link with anybody. You can do this online. Finally, I want to once again thank the cadets of the Old War School, Professor Gary King, Sachiko Cleveland, the director of the Student Veteran Center, and the ROTC instructors, the commander, and the Corps of Cadets for hosting us yesterday. We got to see some wonderful things. I appreciate them coming today, kind of reviving an old tradition of having the Pershing Rifles present the colors, which I think is just such a tremendous tradition we have here at LSU, one that we should never forget and always honor the long purple line that is LSU. On that note, without any further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second? Second. Without objection, this meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting, December, here in Baton Rouge.
All right.
Thank you. Got it. I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right. Oh, you're in front of the one.
Hi there.
Damn.